Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Thomas from Tarot Your Way, and my guest today is PD from the Tarot Lounge. How are you doing today, PD?
Well, I'm just lovely. I'm hyped up on grape Kool-Aid.
Oh, well,
So
don't
enjoy.
Guyana punch on me.
So yes, I'm going to be hyper this entire time. Try and contain me, Thomas. Try and contain me. That's all I've got to say.
Just try. Let's see, and then I like my guest over there.
Ooh, I've got the hot seat.
Yes, you do. So, today, what we're doing is called tarot pairs, and it's just a quick exercise for people who are studying their tarot to come up to draw two cards at random, read with the context, and do all the permutations up, reversed, reversed, up, and reversed, reversed. Um, doesn't have to be a long, convoluted thing. It's just what you come up with at first, and it's just a quick way to help you learn the reversals and the combination keywords for cards. If you got 2 minutes, you can do this. 30 seconds on each combination, and you've practiced a pairing. So, if somebody wants to give us a question context, we like get the same questions when we're reading online all the time, like can I have a message from my guides, or will I find love, or should I take this job, or how are my finances going to be in the upcoming month? Uh, that's the context. These are all hypothetical questions. There is no real reading. So you can even do third person reads in these because there is no personal involvement. We're not going to hurt anybody's feelings. We're not needing to get into the energy. The energy is all on the cards that are selected.
So I came as a guest the other day. I was in the chat and I couldn't shut up with all the questions that I had. It was you and oh gosh, what is his name? I'm drawing a blank. You just had him
Jeff,
on
Jeff, tarot
Jeff.
asked backwards.
Tarot asked backwards, and I was like, ooh, what about a card for my pet? What about a card for? Did you just drop something? me,
My
me and
my
Thomas are
my
both like,
setup fell off its tripod, so
oh gosh. But I was going crazy in the chat saying, what about pairs for true crime? Because I've been enjoying reading on true crime and whatnot. So yeah, that was a lot of fun.
okay. Well, um, I had technical difficulties before this, and now something went wrong. Try again. Well, yeah, you hit the floor.
It's at your door if it hit the floor.
Okay. So, am I gonna? Okay. Well, I guess that's how I'm gonna have to do it. Hold the darn thing.
That's okay.
Okay. So, how about I give you a context of love or personal relationship,
Okay.
and if you will tell me the two cards that you picked, I will um, get them out of my deck and show them on this third camera tripod that's not working. I'll be the human tripod.
Well, one of them is the Five of Wands. And let's see. what the next one is. Ooh, a page of wands. We got some fire energy here.
We certainly do. Okay, so the first combination, how we're going to read these, is upright and upright.
Okay.
Excuse me while I.
There we go.
Jeez.
I know it.
Is that going to work?
Yeah,
Okay.
that looks good.
So we have our upright Five of Wands and our upright Page of Wands. So in this context of our personal relationships,
Oh, okay. You want me to start?
well, I could say that right now you're a little conflicted. You're having some uh, battle of wills and wits, and maybe it's a new relationship, and you're just trying to find your position in it. But then when our Page Ones comes in, you might have to watch out for um, a real charmer, a real charismatic person. He may sell you a bill of goods, and he may come off as too good to be true, but he's totally charismatic. So you may be primed to fall into the gullibility of going along with it because it feels good to be validated and be in that loving situation. If I put reversed, again, we're coming in with it, trying to figure out our position in the relationship. But maybe you're hoping for that romantic to come in, but you can tell that there's flaws and character. Uh, it, he might not be on the up and up with you at all times. Is he trying to deceive, or maybe he's just a low energy person, and maybe he sucks some of the energy or life out of you. And when we have a reversal and an upright, the battles are over. You've had all your skirmishes. You're looking for an easier route. You're not going to You're not going to put up with drama in your life anymore. And then along comes this charmer, this sweet talker. He actually knows how to ignite passion in your life. And if you were soured on relationships in the past, he may just say the right things to um, bring you around and not be timid or shy about getting into relationships again. And then if we have reverse and reverse, um, our skirmishes are over. We're done with that. We're out of high school. We're not going to play the childish games. You get out and you go to places where people are, and you may find a real person. May not may not be a beauty, may not be eloquent and a charmer, but they may be genuine in their heart, and you see past um, physical attraction, and you're attracted to the mind of a creative individual. And so that's what I would say about those two cards in context of relationships. Any questions?
Okay, so do you draw cards for me, or do I give my commentary on them now,
You do you want to do commentary, or do you want your own set of cards in the
I can
same
do either.
context?
I can do either. Because I tell you what,
Oh,
one thing that I think is so interesting sometimes is how readers will pull the same two cards, right? But have a totally different take, even though we go off of the same meanings. I think that's so cool and so interesting.
right. And it can change from time to time. It's just sometimes it's my personal mind
Oh, yeah.
frame. If I've been jaded or jilted recently, and boy, I may have some harsh things to say.
So
So,
with those, okay, I think that so one thing that Thomas and I were talking about behind stages is that tarot. He says tarot. It doesn't have to be woo woo. He says everybody can read tarot, and then once you start to get kind of the basis of reading tarot down, then some of that woo woo stuff will come in, right? Some of that those creative sort of notions of reading the cards and whatnot, that kind of comes in uh, naturally after you start to kind of learn about these. And there's a couple of different ways that I read cards. I read cards by looking at the numbers and what they are. So, like a five represents change to me. So, anytime that there is like a conflict, that's going to usher a huge change usually in somebody, and not a huge change, but it's going to usher some sort of change in somebody's life. So looking here at the five of wands, I also see too, like something that I noticed are all the little things that are on the cards. And when I look at those wands on that card, I see all the little sprouts coming out of the wands, and to me that's an opportunity for growth because there's some growth on those wands there. And paired up with that page of wands, I see, this new outlook. This, as you can see, he's standing there and he's kind of proud a little bit in a way. He's looking up at sort of those little sprouts on that wand there. And so for me, pages represent new paths. So it's all about going on new paths. So when I look at these cards, I instantly say, okay, we've got a number five, and we have a wand suit, and we have a page in a wand suit. So I look at the number and what they are, and then what suit they are, right? So with this, I'm seeing, okay, we have a little bit of conflict here, upright, with these two sitting upright with each other. We have a little bit of conflict here, but there's an opportunity for growth here. And one thing that I always like try and kind of articulate in my messages is some sort of positive, uh, even though it might be, because if I saw this in my reading, I'd be like, great, we've got a five of wands moment going on, is what I would think to myself. But I always try to look for some sort of positive in the situation. Well, okay, we all might be fighting and fussing with each other today, and we might be acting a little bit youthful and immature with this page of wands over here, right? But what I really like about it is we have an opportunity of growth here. So that's what I would say, looking at those two
right.
cards.
And this little conflict and scuffle is like brother and sister and bickering for position. It's not
Yeah. It's not
the game
major.
stakes aren't high here. It's not like the
Right.
swords where somebody's playing a deceitful game and taking the spoils as the victor. This is just competition, and maybe it levels up your game a little bit.
Right. And I think what traditionally though, that what that card is? It's just kind of conflict and competition for the five of wands.
Hmm.
Yeah. That's what I
Yeah,
thought.
and then if you turn it around, then you get compromises and working together to solve problems.
Okay.
Okay, are
I
you
see
ready
that.
for the page to be reversed?
I am.
Okay.
So in this situation here, it would be like I would see that yes, we have still the conflict going on, the change ushering in, still that level of competitiveness, with the Five of Wands going on over here. But maybe we aren't seeing the forest through the trees with the Page of Wands coming in reverse here, because it's like there's an opportunity here, like I said, for growth. But I don't think maybe the person that we'd be reading on would necessarily uh, maybe be seeing the opportunity for growth. Maybe that one thing to help them in that situation would be to kind of like bring that to their perspective, because it's like their perspective is off, it's in reverse. So they're not maybe looking at the right thing. And another way, that I read cards too, not only just by, okay, looking at, okay, we've got a five, we've got wands. I look at what they're doing in the cards, and, I kind of see, and this is where it gets into woo woo. I get to kind of see it. Okay, how does that make me feel? How does it make me feel when I see him looking up at that wand, but it's coming in reverse here? So, there I'm saying, okay, well, maybe his perspective needs to change. He's not looking at the right things. So I could, suggest to the person, um, maybe, make sure that you're open to all suggestions. Make sure you're open to all options with that.
Okay.
So,
Thank you all for joining us today.
hi, Care Bear. Hi, Scorpio Mama Fatima. Okay, and
Okay.
so for this one right here, so for someone like this, Thomas, I would now you say that this is like, so traditionally when Five of Wands comes in reverse like this is like be compromising in solutions and whatnot.
Yeah.
Is that what that is?
Yeah. The reverse keywords that I have are resolution, truce or treaty, collaboration, harmony, compromise, peaceful resolutions, teamwork, finding common grounds, agreement, letting go of conflicts. So when you see
Okay,
a five of wands, you want to see him reversed because that's the more positive
positive.
outlook of the card. The tarot has a perfect balance. So all the cards have pluses and minuses to them. Um, when when they're reversed, it can have less of an impact if it's a major arcana. You know, can have the same meaning, but less of a total impact. A tower moment reversed is not the same as a tower moment upright. There's
Yes.
there's a little quicker recovery from a reverse tower moment.
So this one right here, looking at this, I would say, you have this new path, this new journey. I would actually read the Page of Wands before I read the Five of Wands, because I'd say, okay, you've got this new opportunity, this new journey, this new path ahead of you, but it might require you to search within and sort of come together as, and work in a team, and you might have to cooperate in order to progress forward on this path. That's what I would see with that right there.
And we do that a lot. We reverse our cards so we get the clear story. It's tarot is not set in stone that you have to read it ABC all the time.
I know, I just
And
kind
then
of go by,
reverse.
yeah, yeah, I just go kind of by the feel of it, the feel, how it makes me feel. If my mind starts gravitating towards
Yeah,
one card, that's what I do. So, um now this one right here, I'd be like, okay, uh uh-oh. That's what I would probably think. But actually it's not so uh-oh, because the Five of Wands is in reverse here, which is actually a more positive take on the card. So This one here, I would probably look at this and say, gosh, hold on, let me think on this. Boy, this is really making me feel
Maybe in the
similar.
past, maybe in the past you couldn't find somebody that you could work with, and you felt alone.
That's a good take on it. Um, or even now, you're feeling like, gosh, I can't get along with anybody. No matter what I try, no matter which way I turn, I feel as though I can't find my place in this group. How do I get along and how do I cooperate? I'm trying to start this path and this journey that I know that um, I need fellowship with. But when I'm in the fellowship situation, you know, um, I'm not necessarily always feeling the most comfortable. But this is saying right here that it's going to be okay with the 5 of wands in reverse, because it actually means that you are working together. It might not feel like it, but you are working together and things are working out the way that they're supposed to. I would just say that just because of the page of wands being in reverse next to it. So it's so, wow, this is really enlightening. I've never done this before. This is really enlightening. I've never really thought about
Well,
this
uh,
thing.
it is enlightening, because it is uh, an exercise that really doesn't have a true life or death consequence. There's no, but it gets you to think.
Yes, I know. I
So
love it.
I am doing really poorly as a handheld. Um, okay, do you want to give me a context and then draw two more cards and I'll start the readings this time?
Okay. Let's see. Oh, we did have a question up here, Thomas. I wanted to read for you. And I'd like your take on this. Okay.
Oh, certainly.
Deception dismantled. Echoes of Clarity asks, I have a question, y'all. If you get the King of Swords and the
It is.
King of Wands, or any two kings side by side, how do y'all read that? I have been doing tarot for almost 2 years, but I have issues with that still. Um, I had a book, Deception Dismantled, and I wish I had it over. Of course, I
Are
don't.
are
Well,
you are you adjoining kingdoms, aligning together to fight a battle or overcome a flood or pestilence or disease, or are you rivals? You gotta look at the alignments. Are you north south? Are you fire and air? Are you water and earth? Or fire and water, earth and air?
that make let's see. So,
That's that. Okay.
well, that makes sense because King of Swords and King of Wands, air and fire. So fire or air can really get a fire going, right? Oxygen can really get that
Yeah,
fire going.
be the bellows at the forge and fan the flames and heat the steel till it melts.
Mm-hmm. Um, I've actually heard that when more than one king appears in a reading, and I think particularly like if you're doing a certain kind of spread, I think it's really more impactful if you're doing it in a spread. But it's like confirmation. Like if you pull one, it's like, okay, yeah, but two or three, and sometimes even you can pull four, in a reading. It has certain meanings. It actually has certain meanings if you pull more than one in a spread, but I can't remember the actual meanings of each one. So how I would read it, I would just read it in context of the suit. But I have heard and I have read before that more than one has different meanings. So okay, so I'm going to give you a context.
So for so my okay,
Oh, are you ready?
I am.
So my question, like the context would be, why did this happen to me? Because I always read the cards and I'm like,
Okay.
why did this happen to me? Do I have
You're
supper
going
with
back to my
my
roots. Yeah,
so
you're
and
going
I
back
have
to my roots. I used to enjoy pity parties, and then you have so many pity parties and you can't cry anymore. Then it's time to move on. Time to grow
oh
up.
see
But it took me until I was 55 to start growing up, and I'm not there yet. I'm probably
I'm
about
the queen.
10 now instead of 6.
I'm the queen of the pity party. The queen. We'll have to work on that, Thomas. But I
Okay.
got I
Why,
got
oh, why did this happen to me?
why did this happen to me? And I got the 10 of Wands and the Death card.
Oh, well, really. Excuse me while I pick up the card off the floor. Butterfingers. And
Oh, it's in the original Rider Waite book. Okay. Miss Moonlight said that with the two kings mean minor consul, three kings means consultation. I knew there, and four means a great honor. I knew there was some meaning to that. Mm-hmm. Hi, Miss Moonlight.
okay, so why did it happen to me? I felt burdened and I picked up my own burdens. I picked up everybody else's burdens along the way. I was made the scapegoat for anything that went wrong. And yay, I am happy about this death card because it is going to be a transformation. I need to radically change. Get out of this shit. Get out of my pity party and move on. I'm ready for a new life. Old life be gone. When I've got this combination, I've still picked up everybody's burdens, but um, maybe I did so willingly, and I can't blame the other person. I got to take ownership and carry the bundle to its destination. Um, may not be comfortable, but I'll soldier on and I'll get there eventually. Um, when I get the death card upside down, reversed, um, I may have some more time doing that. I may be carrying those burdens for a while yet, but there will be an eventual um, release of those burdens once I get to my destination and get comfortable uh, being there. I guess I need 2 rotating suction cups or something. Now, when I have this one, I've got the release of burdens. I might be happy go lucky and don't. Um, I might be timid. I may not take on any meaningful projects or leave meaningful projects to be done by somebody else. Maybe I'm letting folks take care of me. But when it comes to the death card, along with that, It's like it's a check. No, you can't continue this way. You have to grow up and take some responsibility. And then when we have reverse, um, I'm looking for any excuse to get rid of burdens that I've picked up along the way and picked up for others. And I am just hoping that um, change is going to be sooner than later. But with the death card in reverse, it's going to take long while for me to break out of this mindset because I've been there for so long and it's so deeply ingrained in me that I can't think a new thought pattern and disrupt old habits. Do you need keywords for any or either, or
Um,
you know where
I
you know
I
where you're
might
going?
I know where I'm going, but I might have to ask you for keywords for actually for I'm gonna say both reversed. I'm seeing just how insufficient I am with my reversals when it actually
Um,
comes down to it. Because I read them and I'm thinking that I'm reading a lot now that I see this. I really feel like I'm reading a lot by what I feel,
Intuition, yeah,
intuition.
and that's not wrong.
No, but
You read how
I'd
you
like to
read.
know the meaning. Yeah.
Okay, you'd like to phone a friend for the reverse Ten of Wands. We got overwhelm. We've got burden. We got exhaustion, burnout, release, delegation, lighten the load, surrender, letting go, um, bu- 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 reevaluation. Can't read my own handwriting. And nope, two back. Two back. Not three back, two back. Okay, death in reverse. We've got resistant to change, stagnation, fear of transformation, delayed endings, inertia, refusal to let go, hindered growth, holding on to the past, stuck in old patterns, incomplete transitions, avoidance of necessary changes, and fear of the unknown.
Okay. So if I got these two cards like this upright, with the 10 of wands, 10 it, generally represents completion for me. So completing a cycle. But so it would be, even though this person it has a heavy load here, they're holding on to all these wands and they may have a lot of irons in the fire per se. They are, close to getting to a point where with the death card over here, um, they might be able to change the load that they're carrying. So they're on their way to learning how to either cope or manage the load that they're carrying right now, because the 10 of wands is kind of a burden. It's not necessarily easy to hold all of those, right? So that's how I would be seeing that. They might feel stressed out, they may feel overwhelmed, they may feel like, oh my gosh, my head's spinning, I have everything going on all at once. If I have to pick up one more of these darn sticks, I might just collapse, right?
Don't beat
But
the dog with it just because it's in your hand.
right? So that's what I would see. That's what I see for that. Now, with this, with the keywords that you gave me about this, I would see this as okay, this person is overloading their plate, but they're unwilling to change. So it's like they're sort of stuck in
Poor
their mentality.
me.
Yeah, more. I'm at the all you can eat buffet and I've got a plate this high. But when it comes down to sitting down to eating it, I'm going to complain about the food and on it goes. But it's like not being in the right mindset. It's like, well, how about we do a little bit of each one, but they're not to that point yet to see that. They're just seeing all the negatives and all, and they're unwilling to be in that growth mindset because that death card came in reverse there. So that's what I see with that one.
PD, I think you're talking about me at the cruise in the buffet line. So thank you for the hint.
Just remember the 10 of Wands and the death in
And,
reverse.
and by the way, being a diabetic, cruise desserts, unless you're in a specialty restaurant, you can get the same thing at Kroger. It's nothing really that good
Oh man.
in the main dining room. You got to go to one of the pay extra restaurants to get a good dessert.
Well, I'm not about that.
Sorry, we blinked
So this one right here,
there. Okay.
I'd say that okay. So, yes, this person does have a lot of irons in the fire. However, I do believe that they are in the mindset of wanting help and wanting to usher in that transformation. They need a change. They want a change. They just don't maybe know how to get the change that they're looking for. So they're looking for guidance. And, with this, it's like they want to set down a few of those sticks, they want to set down a few of those wands, but they just don't know how to do it. So they need counseling, they need help, they're searching for answers, but their growth mindset is open, they want to usher that in. So that's what I would say for that one. Okay, then Thomas, this is the keywords for death in reverse were kind of like being unwilling to. Can you give me those again one more time? I'm drawing a blank. Imagine that. All I've had today is grape Kool-Aid. I've had the best nutrition in the world. Should be able to think here.
Resistance to change, stagnation, fear of transformation, delayed endings, refusal to let go, hindered growth, holding on to the past, stuck in old patterns, incomplete
So,
transitions, fear of
so
unknown.
that one I would say probably that yeah, they might this might be a complainer, but they don't want to do anything about it. Just as simple as that. Enough is never enough is what I see with that. And if they could pick up 10 more sticks, they might just pick up 10 more sticks because 10 just wasn't good enough.
I got to let the whole world know that I'm a martyr.
Right?
And we run into those, at times, or we become that at times in our lives. And nothing wrong with being a martyr. Okay, Hershey would like us to do an example of a bad boss. Give me a couple bad boss cards.
Well, I have the chariot in reverse.
Because
Well,
this is what my nightmares are. Um,
oh,
yeah, this is a theme of my dreams, and I can't figure out because I was what I did, and when I had to medically be disabled and retire, um, I lost a lot of self worth. So I work for bad bosses in my dreams a lot. So we had a chariot in reverse. Well, chariot.
Well,
We're
Chariot,
gonna
and
read the
then
reversals.
Miss Moonlight says Hierophant. Should we do Hierophant?
Um, don't be triggered, Hershey.
Oh, I know she loves that picture of that Pope on that Hierophant on the traditional Rider Waite deck. She loves that.
Well,
I'm gonna get you
she
a
likes
poster
that
as MD.
there's keys to unlocking the door with the Hierophant, and I think that's his only saving grace. So, chariot. Sometimes when I get him upright, um, if you notice, this charioteer doesn't have reins or anything. He's got to use a lot of willpower um, to get the Sphinx to go the same direction. So it's not it's movement, but it can be slow movement. But you gotta do something to get moving. So do you make the threat to the boss and say, give me the respect that I deserve, or let me go on vacation because I've had tenure for 10 years, and now so and so wants to usurp my vacation time this year because um, they want to go to lunch with the boyfriends or whatever. Um, with the Hierophant, he's a teacher. You can be a teacher or you can be a learner. You can either be the Hierophant or you can be these monks in the front being taught the lesson. But you have the appearance of authority, so it is like going to your boss, the ultimate authority of the company, or to your direct supervisor. So whether you get the outcome or not that you want, at least you went through the correct channels. When you get this, you may have to threaten to quit if you don't get your way, but the the boss isn't going to see anything because um, in the reverse position, I would say he becomes a little more like an emperor. He might be tyrannical or holier than thou. I know best because this is my company. Yeah, yeah, I got it. I've worked for him. Hate them bosses. Uh, ah, uh, back to the floor we go. Talk amongst yourselves. Well,
I think
Thomas retrieves card.
I think. Oh, there they are. Okay, we're doing reverse and
I could be reverse and upright. I think you could be a little out of control here. You're going directions, but you're not going the right direction. You're not.
yeah.
Maybe the boss is sending you on cockroach missions. It's pointless, or you don't see the point of what he's having you do every day. And drop this and do this, drop this and do that. So it's a lot of chaotic energy. But again, I'm what I say goes, and I hold the keys to the building. And if you don't make your quota, I'm gonna have to lock the doors because I can't go on my multi-million-dollar vacation or afford my yacht or whatever. Uh, that that's just what comes to mind. And then again, we're in this chaotic energy. We're running in circles. Just all seems kind of pointless. And you're looking for direction from management and leadership, but uh, they can't give it to you because maybe they don't know how to run a business. Maybe they were um, uh, maybe they inherited the family business and they weren't really taught how to manage businesses or people. So it just might be a futile effort if we're both reversed. And so the bad boss goes back to you, PD.
Okay. Well,
Upright chariot, upright hierophant.
okay. So upright chariot and upright hierophant. So the hierophant for me, it kind of just represents it represents education to me, but it also represents institutions in general. So I see the hierophant as more than just like religion or education. It's just kind of like anything that's institutionalized for me. So this might be with the chariot here and the hierophant together. It might be that the this boss is pushing for progression in an institutionalized regime matter. They're going to definitely be the type of boss that's going to put you in a box, is what I'd see with that. Because, the chariot representing that movement, that progression, and then over here, the hierophant, which represents to me institutions, it's like they're going to have a book, they're going to have that manual, and they are going to know every rule in that manual.
Right. So is this a toxic is this a toxic um, business culture, or is this a positive business culture because they have it in a book?
Well, that's the thing, is that yes, everything needs some sort of, I think, you have to have a plan, right? But with seems
Right.
to me, just with the majorness of, the major arcana both coming in here, this seems a little too planned and a little too regimed for, it's going to cramp a lot of people's style, is what I would see with that. However, since it's both upright like this, I believe that the intentions are good. I don't believe the intentions are bad, because it's like, I don't think that, I do believe that the boss doesn't like have like, oh, I'm like, is not oh, what's the word, vindictive or something like that, doing this out of spite. I do think that they have, an idea and a plan.
Tyrannical.
Yeah, tyrannical. uh However, that plan might not work for everybody. That's what I would see with that. Okay, so with this coming in here like this, I would not necessarily see this in the most positive outlook, because yeah, we've got this movement coming in with the chariot, right? And we've got a major arcana here, which is, pretty intense movement with the, it being that kind of a card. But we have this hierophant coming in here in reverse, so this would definitely tell me that this person is of a tyrannical nature. It's going to be a somebody that is, boy, you better, this is somebody that is going to know the rules and going to know how to use the rules to their advantage, is what I would see with this. So this is somebody that, like, if they were faced with if you were faced with a situation, they might throw a rule into your face and be like, well, our policy says that it doesn't do this. And you're like, wait, come on. Like, that sort of moment. So
Yeah.
that's what I see with that. Now, with this one, with this pair right here, what I would see is oh boy, here comes this and I it's funny how when it comes together like this, I see this kind of like a little different than maybe I saw it with the two of them upright together like that. I see this as, oh God, here comes this person in here and they have all these ideas and they're not going to work. I read the Hierophant card first in that, and then I look over to the Chariot card that comes in reverse, and it's like, yeah, they've got all these plans and they're wanting to do these things, and here they come, holier than thou. I see that in that sense, holier than thou, and they've got all these great ideas. Yeah, good luck. That's how I see that one. Indy says he feels like he's in tarot school and it's kind of awesome. That's kind of what this is, Indy. Okay. Now, here we are with the Hierophant and the Chariot both coming in reverse here. And it's like you've got this leader who's in a position. And here again, I look at the Hierophant card first. You've got this leader who's in a position and they're not utilizing the things that they need to make the movement. There is no movement here. They might be at a stagnation. They might not really even care. They're just in a position to have a position, and they don't really care about the progression of the team, the progression of the company, making things grow, making things change, how people feel, any of that, because they're sort of there, holier than thou, holding a position and not really doing anything. So I know that Care Bear had asked us to draw a couple of cards or to do a couple of cards. I wanted to make sure because I think she had asked and I had done somebody else's card, so I don't want to skip over her. Care Bear, are there certain cards that you want us to look at? And I don't know what our prompt is for the next one, so I suppose we'd have to figure that out too. I just didn't want her to feel like I
An emperor reversed and any king reversed.
Okay.
Narrow down. Well, we're going to read them in all four permutations, so you get bonuses. Any particular king you want, and what is our context, Care Bear?
Oh, let me think. Let me think, Thomas. Let me think. Or if you guys have any ideas, you guys in the chat have any context for us, like cards about what ideas should we read on? What's a good question?
Is this
I'm trying to get creative here. Of course, I'm trying to be extra. Imagine that. Oh, she was just throwing out bad boss cards. Okay, I see. I just didn't want to. Well, we'll do those cards anyways. That'll be fun to read with those cards.
Well, we've all had them, haven't we?
Yeah, yeah.
What Care Bear, pick a king. Pick a suit, and I'll get the king. Do we want him money? Do we want him creative or fiery? Do we want him compassionate, or do we want him very articulate and thoughtful?
Miss Moonlight says we should do
love cards.
How about
Well, your
boss?
boss will react to you, but for asking for a raise, like, well, that's a financial question. So let's take it to the King of
Oh,
Pentacles.
she says swords.
Swords. Oh, the thoughtful, analytical king. Okay.
Care Bear, that's where I was gonna go, was the swords.
Swords for me are difficult because I think of swords as painful emotions. I know that cups are supposed to be the emotional suit, but I didn't have a lot of empathy growing up, so I always felt the harshness of that going on.
That's
So,
not fun.
hey, boss, what about throwing me a
The
buck or two?
Emperor. Emperor and King of Swords. Okay.
Yes.
You want me to start?
Let's see. With our emperor, let's. Yeah. Well, let's do this together. He's kind of immovable. He's been there for a long time, and his ideas don't change.
I can tell. Okay. So, King of Swords for me. Do you know when I first started reading Tarot, King of Swords, I read in a book could represent a divorce? Have you ever read that?
Um, I've read it in personal cards.
Yeah,
I've
like
taken that
and we're
interpretation. Um,
yeah, what I we're doing love, right?
no, we're doing asking the boss for a raise.
Oh, asking the boss for a raise. Oh, well, gosh, I don't know. I see this as nope, I've got firm boundaries and with over there in the emperor and uh so I don't have time to be make well there I could if I wanted to maybe cut through and make some cuts here. That's how I would see that. I have
You
boundaries.
want to
You might not
raise
get what you're at.
your
Yeah.
your personal
Yeah.
assistant, your secretary's got to go if you want to raise.
Right. Yeah, he's going to play the game a little bit, I think, with those. Even though they're both upright, he's still pretty cunning as far as how things are done. That's a whole lot of energy right there with that Mars energy over there in that Emperor, and that's solid fire and
And then
Mars
the
over
moon
there, and
energy
that's boundaries.
and the moon with the swords, the king of swords, that hidden things aren't
Uh
on
huh.
the up and up and out and open with our king of swords.
Yeah, there might be negotiations for
Oh,
that.
I've 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 frozen. Okay, let me. Ugh, I am so sorry.
Oh, you're all right. You're fine.
Let's get him out of here.
Do swords always represent thinking to you, Thomas? They always kind of represent thought patterns for me. Thoughts.
Yeah, analytical thinker. You know, a lot in their head.
Yes. Sometimes too much.
There's such a there's so much of a delay that uh, by the time I stop sweeping my hand, my wrist, it's gotten them out of the frame again.
For this one,
So in this case, if I'm asking the boss for money,
so for this one, I don't think you're going to get anywhere. I mean, there's still a possibility. There's still a
it
possibility.
was a
I
waste
mean,
of breath.
yeah, I don't know. You
I'll 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 throw you a nickel at Christmas. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, we have a yeah, I'm not going to be able to give you a raise, but we have a great benefits
Ebenezer
program.
Scrooge, Bob Marley.
Okay, I actually see this, Thomas, as maybe you might have an opportunity here. Because with the emperor coming in reverse, those boundaries are sort of loosened up. They're sort of like kind of like more flexible. But you are definitely going to have to come at this person with a plan because they are such a thinker. They're going to be 5 steps ahead of you. You're going to have to get creative with the way that you present this to
Give,
them because,
give me a reason and
yeah.
remind me of your results.
And they're also, I think, going to make you work. Like, okay, you want this, you better work for it.
No 10-hour days for you, 16s.
um, and this is even a better position to be in because I think that their guard is let down a little bit with the King of Swords and the Emperor in reverse. It's like the thought processes aren't quite all in line right there. I mean, I hate to say this because, like, I don't want to teach people to read cards so you could take advantage of your boss, but this would be a situation where the boss was
Oh,
not in.
I would be all for that. I would
in
be
the, in
all
the
for that.
Yeah, and I would say this would be a situation with them both coming in reverse like that, where his thought processes aren't going to be so clear and his boundaries are down. So
Well, Petey, thank you so much for doing this exercise with me.
oh,
And
I love it.
again, it's we we took it sort of like a class and um, sort of gave you our thought processes behind the scenes as we read the cards on make believe subjects, and we're not making light of any tarot readings that we do because we just want to show that there is an actual thought process behind things. And we all need a refresher from time to time. And it's great that you want to learn tarot and refresh along with us.
Well, I think
Petey,
that
thanks for coming.
oh,
Go
I
ahead.
loved it. I loved it, Thomas. This was great, and it kind of like opened my eyes. It was like a little bit of a aha moment for me because it's like I didn't realize. When I first started reading tarot, I I really wanted to learn the definitions of everything so bad. I was reading off of intuition, and I wanted to learn the definitions so bad. And then I got good on that. And then I started relying on the definitions more than I did my intuition. Now I'm back to my intuition again. And so now I'm like, oh, I need to brush back up on my knowledge of this again. So it's kind of that balance, right? I
Your
think it's a
knowledge
balance,
is just fine.
but I appreciate it. This was great.
So, what do you have coming up that you'd like us to know about?
Oh, so Hershey and I are going to be reading on a case tomorrow. I know everybody really enjoys our true crime. We're going to be doing a case tomorrow, and you'll see which one that's going to be after at 5 o'clock tomorrow, 5 Central. We'll release uh, our video on Hershey's channel. So I've got that coming up. What else do I have coming up? I'm starting to get a calendar going again. Imagine that. Um, Oh, and every Tuesday, Hershey and I, so we finally got it on a schedule. Every Tuesday, Hershey and I are going to try and release a true crime video, either regarding a criminal case or a missing person, at 5 o'clock, either on, and we rotate from her channel to my channel. One time we'll do it on her channel, and then we all get in the chat and we release the video together, and we get in there, and her and I talk with the everybody that comes in, and then we'll come over to my channel and we release the next one the next week on my channel. So that's kind of how we do it. So, but I definitely
And
have all of that on.
that's been working very well for you.
I love
Um,
it.
I I know timing is everything on those missing persons cases, and um, it was a sad outcome for the family, for
Yeah.
Sebastian, not
Oh, Riley
Riley.
Strain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
That was
you
good.
you had just really, I think you read on it on
The
Wednesday
day
and
before.
released the thing on Thursday, and then the next day it was resolved and found, and but the the accuracy and insight really gave um, exposure to your channel, you and Hershey's abilities to um, pick up the timing and the energy, the true energy of the case. And I know that there's mysteries that still remain, um, but uh, at least the family doesn't have to be hanging on and still waiting.
Yeah.
It's still a tragedy, you
Yeah.
know,
At
to
least it
lose
helps.
a son or daughter or any child, any parent losing a child is a big um, got me all choked up.
Yeah, I know it. I know. And our goal in that is to just bring awareness. So maybe if somebody sees something on our channel when we do those things, if you see something, say something, maybe it would help somebody find somebody, or um, help bring some closure to, some a family, or, maybe something good can come out of, what we do. So that's our goal for that. And like Hershey always says, she's down there in the comments, she says, reach one, teach one. So sometimes we're able to reach people we never thought that we'd be able to reach. So it's really amazing.
And then I've got my tarot class, and we're on to the Six of Wands this Sunday at noon Central.
Okay.
So it's about an hour deep dive on one tarot card, and I'm learning a lot. I know I
I
knew
love
all
it.
this stuff at one time, but I've aged out, and the memory seeps out, and I'm picking it back up, and I'm just enjoying doing that. And in the end, I'll bundle it all and maybe offer it as a class.
Nice, nice.
And then, oh yeah, we have Hershey and I have Shadow Reads Wednesday night,
Okay.
Friday with Gerald and Shane on Gerald's channel. We're doing yawns, yes or no's. And I have been releasing little shorts called Tarot Quiz, and it's
I love those. I love them.
one multiple choice question on a tarot card or a meaning or whatever, and 25 seconds and it's done. It's another brush up educational, hopefully, thing for people.
They're fun.
And now I've settled into how I'm going to do it. Some of the first ones didn't have any audio. It was just, but now I've settled on a structure, a flow, a workflow. So I'm going to try to churn out as many as I can. You're
Nice.
going to get
Those are
sick. Turn
fun.
my notifications off, because I'll be posting them every hour if I can edit them that fast. So I want to thank everyone for being here and indulging me in my uh, need to teach and feel useful in my retirement. Remember,
Great.
be, be kind to yourselves, be kind to others, and go out and make it a great day. Good night, everyone.